On Wednesdays, we like to talk about money.
Yes, absolutely.
Why not? It is never too early to start a discussion with your children about money.
Right, and talking to them early and often can give them tools for a financially healthy future.
Joining us now is Tom Henske, a financial literacy expert and author of the book, It Makes Total Sense, 12 Conversations to Change Your Child's Future.
Right.
Well, hello.
Greetings.
We're also
Welcome.
friends in real life.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Neighbors, as it were.
But is he, never mind, we'll talk about how much you're learning.
You know what? I know. I need
You
to
need
read
to
this
start
for
that.
me. Never mind.
It's not fair that she sends the kids over to my
Right.
house to learn, right?
Go over there by time. We'll straighten you right out.
That is exactly right. Thank you for joining us.
This is great information coming. Yeah.
We've been saying all morning that, gosh, we wish in high school we were able to take some sort of financial literacy class or something really concrete. I wonder, though, what is the age? I mean, we know, yes, you need to talk to your children about money, but at what age are you really doing this?
Well, it depends on their maturity level, right? But you're looking for a concrete answer. 6 years old is a great time to start.
6? Interesting.
You've got to be careful, though, because the conversations, the topics are the same for a 6 and a 16-year-old. The way you talk about it is completely different.
Sure.
So, for example, the 6-year-old gets an allowance, they put it in a piggy bank, right? If you mention a piggy bank to your 16-year-old,
He's
you're
gonna
going to
be
get the
like-
eye roll, right?
Exactly. Although you get the eye roll for just about anything from the 16-year-old, but specifically that.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So is there a better time and place also, so they're not distracted and they're focused about talking about money?
I think if you stage it and you make it an event, the kids don't buy into it.
Yeah,
I
they
think it has
could
to,
smell that a mile away.
a mile away, right? So I think it's great just in the course of everyday life, just to bring things up. So if you get a credit card statement comes in, talk about borrowing and credit. If they say, wow, that's a great car, say, how much do you think that costs?
Right.
I think just that dialogue and the run of play, as we would call it,
Right.
really helps, and it doesn't make it so staged.
Right. It's not family dinner. Okay, guys, family meeting. We're going to talk
Yeah, you don't wanna
about
stage it
Roths
that
and
much.
IRAs.
Yeah.
We were just doing a college visit, and I was telling Chris that my eldest, who you know, said, Mom, do you know the difference between a subsidized loan and a non-subsidized loan? And I was literally, it stopped
Pop
me.
quiz.
Yeah, it stopped me in my tracks because, you know, as parents, I want them to take as few loans as possible. But that is an example of it was an organic conversation. But do you have that conversation in a car where they're trapped? Because I thought, if I get into this right now, we are on 84 East, and neither of us is getting out of
Well,
this.
think about it. What else do you have going on while you're there?
Right.
So dinner time conversations, instead of asking, hey, how was your day?
Right.
They're so sick of that question, how was your day? And I'm sick of getting the answer,
Fine,
fine,
good.
right? So I think that those opportunities to let them talk and just ask questions and use Socratic method, I think that's a much better way to teach them about money.
Yeah.
You refer to it sort of as a long-term journey. So this comes in steps, obviously, because like you said before, you're not going to speak to the 6-year-old like the 16-year-old and vice versa. So you build on what you've been teaching them over the years? Is that the way to do it?
It's not an event, right?
Right.
It's not, we call that the fire hose method.
One and done.
Right, we say, okay, Saturday morning, we're going to wake up early at 7 a.m. and we're going to have a whole day of personal finance, and then I can check that off the box.
You're so much fun, Dad.
So we're not going to do that. We're going to do the drip, drip, drip method, which is just nice, slow,
Yeah.
throw something out there. And by the way, when you throw something out there and you create curiosity, that curiosity they follow up on social media with. So we as parents complain about social media. Here's a place where social media really works to our advantage.
Sure.
You mentioned, you know, maybe you get a bill, you get the cable bill, or you get whatever bill. Get your kids involved. How can folks do that in a way that doesn't scare them? You know, because I know for single parents, you're doing it all. And the last thing you want is for your child to feel like, oh my gosh, I don't want to ask for pizza night because I just saw the car note, or I just saw, you know, the rent. You know, how do you get your children involved in a way that is productive, that neither scares them, but also doesn't say, oh, they're shelling out this much cash a month, I'm going to ask for an iPhone, a new iPhone, because it's tough as a parent.
It's a tough balance,
Yeah.
right? So I think the way to think about it is you want them to act more adult.
Yes.
When you want them to act more adult, you have to treat them like an adult,
Right.
And if we want them to have adult conversations with us, forget about money, but all the other things in life that we want them to have the conversation with us,
Yeah.
you have to expose them to adult things. And what you just mentioned is a very adult thing. And sometimes giving them a little bit too much information is okay.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
So you have a list of like the top 3 things
Yeah.
in terms of teaching your children about money. So let's step through that real quick.
Well, you know, I have 12 lessons, so that's like asking me who my favorite child is, right? So I'm going to give you
Be
3 of
succinct
them.
as possible.
I'm not
Yes,
going to
that's
tell
great.
you if they're my favorite or not.
Oh, okay.
In no particular order.
Gotcha.
Budgeting.
Okay.
Budgeting's important.
Right.
It's the framework for everything. It starts to build good habits. You know, the whole idea of buckets. When you get money, it goes into a bucket. The bucket of spend now, and maybe spend later, and then spend much later. So 3 different time zones, so to speak. The value of a dollar, that's important. We all complain as parents, my kid doesn't understand the value of a dollar.
Right.
How would they, unless you just basically start to point things out? If you're paying for everything,
Right.
then how would they know? And last but not least is compound interest. I think compound interest is the silver bullet because it incorporates so many other topics of financial planning. So for example, there's what investments to put it in, what the safety of that is, what is the tax on those gains. So I think just by teaching them compound interest, you also get them excited about saving, that their saving is actually going to grow to be bigger later on.
What about connecting the actual tangibility? Because these days everything's in credit, but showing early on the tangibility of money for the object and the tangible object you're going to get from that. So here's the $20, here's what I get for that, then what did I have to do to get that $20? Make it kind of simple and more concrete.
Right, and the good part about it is, first of all, you try to use paper money when they're young.
Right.
I think we probably only have 3 to 5 years left of
I
that.
was going
right?
to say, because that's rapidly disappearing.
So this will become old fast, right? So we're looking at this 3 years down the line, but that's the first thing. Second of all, let them be the ones to do the interaction. So let them pay it as opposed to you paying it. The last part is making sure that they can equate how many hours they needed to work to buy whatever it is. So if they were getting paid $10 an hour for babysitting, and that's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So $10, and then something costs $30, they know that's 3 hours of my time. Is that really worth the 3 hours that I put in working?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Connect the dots from the process of work to the money to what you're purchasing.
The book is called It Makes Total Sense. He really has these 12 conversations to change your child's financial future. Tom Henske, thank you
Thanks
so
so much.
Thanks.